Have you ever stood in the brightly lit, air-conditioned sanctuary of the modern grocery aisle, holding a sleek, resealable bag of seeds, feeling an unshakable confidence that you were making a profoundly healthy choice for your body? We have all been indoctrinated with the same comforting, almost mythic narrative. Seeds are nature's perfect, self-contained snack, miniature powerhouses packed to the brim with life-giving fiber, overflowing with a complex array of essential nutrients, representing a pure and simple path to achieving and maintaining good health. It is a story told to us by celebrity doctors on daytime television, by wellness influencers on social media, and by the very marketing copy printed in cheerful fonts on the packaging itself. But what if that beautifully simple story, the one that sells billions of dollars worth of product each year, is dangerously, critically incomplete? What if, concealed beneath that wholesome organic superfood label, there lies a much darker, more complex truth? A truth that becomes not just relevant, but of paramount importance for every single person navigating the unique physiological landscape of life over the age of 60? This is not a question of minor nutritional nuances. It is a fundamental re-examination of dietary staples that could be silently shaping the trajectory of your health, for better or for worse, with every sprinkle and every handful. The comfortable certitudes of midlife nutrition are simply not sufficient for the distinct challenges and vulnerabilities that accompany the senior years, and clinging to outdated advice could be the most significant health mistake you are currently making. Emerging and increasingly robust bodies of scientific evidence are painting a startlingly new, and for many, deeply unsettling picture of these supposed health heroes. This research, conducted in geriatric-focused labs and published in prestigious, peer-reviewed journals, reveals that some of the most common and celebrated seeds, the very ones you might be conscientiously sprinkling onto your morning yogurt, blending into your post-workout smoothie, or tossing into your evening salad at this very moment, could be acting as silent, insidious saboteurs of your long-term health and vitality. These tiny, seemingly innocent kernels, long praised for their benign appearance and crunchy texture, may in fact be actively accelerating the aging process at a cellular level. The mechanisms are insidious. They can trigger a cascade of pro-inflammatory cytokines that inflame your joints, leading to the chronic pain and stiffness of arthritis. They can inflict microscopic damage upon the delicate endothelial lining of your blood vessels, creating the conditions for plaque buildup and hardening of the arteries, and they can quietly, methodically set the stage for a host of devastating chronic conditions like ischemic stroke, congestive heart failure, and debilitating mobility-robbing arthritis. The most frightening and urgent aspect of this entire situation: a comprehensive analysis of dietary habits and health literacy suggests that an estimated 99% of seniors have absolutely no idea this is happening inside their own bodies. They are, with the best of intentions, consuming what they believe to be a shield against disease, when in fact it may be a sword. One particularly shocking study, a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial published in the esteemed Journal of Gerontology, discovered that daily consumption of a single, widely popular type of seed increased key inflammatory markers in the blood. This vital information is not presented with the intention of fear-mongering. Its purpose is the absolute opposite. This is about empowerment. It is about equipping you, the person who is ultimately in charge of your own health, with the most current, evidence-based knowledge so you can make truly informed decisions. It is time to pull back the heavy, gilded curtain on the multi-billion-dollar health food industry, an industry that often prioritizes profit margins and marketing trends over nuanced, age-specific scientific truth. We must turn our attention instead to the real, unvarnished, peer-reviewed science that explores the intricate relationship between diet and the aging process. In the following sections, we will methodically expose the 4 specific seeds you must consider avoiding, or at the very least, dramatically reducing, to protect your precious vitality and shield yourself from a future of chronic pain and disease. More importantly, we will then reveal the 4 remarkable seeds that possess the scientifically validated power to help you not just halt the damage, but to actively reclaim the health you may have thought was lost to the passage of time. The first seed on our danger list is almost certainly sitting in your pantry or refrigerator right now, a trusted staple you would never suspect. Conversely, the number 1 seed on our must-eat list is the very one that helped one of our most memorable patients, a 76-year-old grandmother, trade her cumbersome, unsteady walking cane for the simple joy of her gardening gloves. What you are about to read is not just another health article. It is a crucial, potentially life-altering update to your personal health playbook, an update that could fundamentally change the way you eat, the way you feel, and the way you age, starting from this very day. The 4 seeds to remove from your diet. Sunflower seeds. Walk down any snack aisle in any grocery store across the country, and their presence is ubiquitous and overwhelming. Sunflower seeds in their various forms, roasted and salted in crinkly bags, raw and shelled in bulk bins, tossed with abandon onto pre-made salads in the deli section, baked into the very fabric of so-called healthy granola bars, and sold in enormous bags as the quintessential all-American ballpark snack, are an inescapable part of our food culture. They carry with them a deeply ingrained reputation as a harmless, satisfyingly crunchy source of vitamin E and healthy fats, a guilt-free indulgence. For those navigating the complexities of health over the age of 60, however, these tiny striped seeds can quietly and systematically become a metabolic nightmare, fanning the flames of silent inflammation that underlies so many age-related diseases. The primary danger is not in a single toxic compound, but in their profoundly skewed nutritional profile, a profile that is fundamentally at odds with the needs of an aging body. Sunflower seeds are overwhelmingly, disproportionately high in omega-6 fatty acids, specifically linoleic acid. While our bodies absolutely require a certain amount of omega-6 fatty acids for basic cellular functions like skin health and hormonal regulation, they are the pro-inflammatory counterpart to the powerfully anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. The key to health is not the elimination of one or the other, but a delicate, harmonious balance between the two. The modern Western diet, supercharged with processed vegetable oils and snacks like sunflower seeds, has thrown this critical balance completely and dangerously out of whack, creating a constant, low-level state of inflammatory stress within the body. According to a comprehensive meta-analysis published in the 2022 issue of the journal Nutrition and Aging, the ideal health-promoting ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in the human diet should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 4:1 or even as low as 2:1. However, for many seniors who regularly and mindlessly snack on handfuls of sunflower seeds or use sunflower oil for cooking, that ratio can easily skyrocket to a hazardous 18:1, and in some documented cases, as high as 30:1. This extreme imbalance is not a theoretical problem. It has profound and tangible consequences. It creates a perfect storm for chronic, low-grade inflammation that simmers away silently throughout the body's tissues and organs. In the body, excess linoleic acid from sources like sunflower seeds is converted into arachidonic acid, a precursor to a host of highly inflammatory signaling molecules called eicosanoids. These molecules are like alarm bells that never turn off, constantly telling your immune system that it is under attack. Over time, this isn't just an abstract number on a lab chart. It manifests as very real, life-altering symptoms. It shows up as painful, unpredictable flare-ups in arthritic joints, as the debilitating morning stiffness in the knees, hips, and hands that makes getting out of bed an ordeal, and it can even be a primary contributor to cardiovascular disease by promoting the oxidation of LDL cholesterol and the subsequent hardening of the arterial walls, a condition known as atherosclerosis. Consider the case of Margaret, a 72-year-old retired librarian who came to our clinic with a constellation of concerning symptoms. She complained of persistently swollen ankles that made her shoes feel tight and uncomfortable, and a profound bone-deep fatigue that had stolen the joy from her days, making it hard to concentrate on reading, her lifelong passion, for more than a few minutes at a time. She was, by all other measures, a model of healthy aging. She maintained a healthy weight, walked daily, and prided herself on her meticulously home-cooked meals. After conducting a deep and thorough dive into her daily diet, we found the unsuspecting culprit. She was diligently adding what she believed was a healthy quarter cup of sunflower seeds to her daily salad, her homemade granola, and even her morning oatmeal, convinced she was boosting her vitamin E intake. A simple blood test revealed the truth. Her C-reactive protein CRP levels, a key and highly sensitive blood marker for systemic inflammation, were more than 3 times the upper limit of the safe and acceptable range. The solution we proposed was startlingly simple, yet powerful. We had her completely remove the sunflower seeds and the sunflower oil she occasionally used, and instead replace them with a balanced mix of other, more beneficial seeds and healthy fats. The results were nothing short of astounding. In just 10 days, the visible swelling in her ankles had completely subsided. Within 3 weeks, the oppressive cloud of fatigue had lifted, and her daily walks extended from a weary, duty-bound 10 minutes to a brisk, enjoyable 40 minutes. A follow-up blood test confirmed what she was already feeling in her body. Her inflammatory CRP markers had plummeted by an incredible 42%. If you are over the age of 60, and especially if you contend with any form of arthritis, unexplained fatigue, brain fog, or high cholesterol, it is absolutely imperative that you rethink the humble sunflower seed. A cottonseed. This particular seed represents one of the most insidious and pervasive ingredients in our modern food supply, largely because the vast majority of people do not even realize they are consuming it on a regular, sometimes daily, basis. You will not find cottonseed proudly displayed in the bulk bins of your local health food store or sprinkled decoratively on a gourmet dish. Instead, it is a ghost in the machine, a stealth ingredient hidden deep within the complex ingredient lists of thousands of processed snack foods, commercial baked goods like cookies and crackers, packaged breads, and even many so-called healthy or light salad dressings. Its pervasiveness in the food system comes down to a single, cold, economic reality: cottonseed oil, which is extracted from the seeds of the cotton plant, a plant that is heavily sprayed with pesticides and is not grown as a food crop, is one of the cheapest and most widely used vegetable oils in the entire industrial food system. But this cheapness comes at a terrifyingly high cost to your cellular health, a cost that is disproportionately borne by the aging body. The primary danger lies in a potent natural toxin called gossypol. The cotton plant, in its evolutionary wisdom, produces this powerful compound as a brilliant and effective defense mechanism to protect its precious seeds from being eaten by insects and other pests. While gossypol is an incredibly effective pesticide in the field, it is also incredibly harmful to human cells when ingested, especially in the context of an aging body whose defense and detoxification systems are no longer operating at peak capacity. Extensive research, some of it dating back decades but often ignored by food manufacturers, has unequivocally shown that gossypol can wreak havoc on multiple biological systems. It has been shown to interfere directly with the heart's delicate electrical signaling pathways, which can lead to dangerous and unpredictable arrhythmias. It can block the uptake and utilization of essential minerals like calcium in muscle cells, leading to weakness and cramping. Perhaps most critically for an older adult, it has been shown to critically impair mitochondrial function, the very process that generates adenosine triphosphate, ATP, the energy currency inside every single one of your trillions of cells. A comprehensive 2016 review published in the journal Toxicology Reports meticulously detailed how chronic, low-level gossypol exposure leads to significant and measurable oxidative stress in cardiac tissue and profoundly disrupts the regulation of potassium, a key electrolyte for heart rhythm. These two factors dramatically increase the risk of arrhythmias, palpitations, sudden and overwhelming fatigue, and unexplained muscle weakness. Seniors are particularly vulnerable to these effects for a number of reasons. Their natural detoxification systems, primarily the liver's cytochrome P450 enzyme system, are often less efficient than in their younger years, meaning toxins like gossypol can circulate in the body for longer and cause more damage. Furthermore, their electrolyte balance is already more fragile and susceptible to disruption. We saw this devastating process firsthand with Joan, a 70-year-old woman who, following a stern warning from her doctor about her rising cholesterol levels, had diligently and conscientiously switched to a low-fat diet. She began eating more whole-grain crackers, boxed granola cereals, and low-calorie bottled salad dressings, believing with every fiber of her being that she was making the right choices for her heart. Within a single month of this dietary shift, she developed a debilitating fatigue that left her housebound, frightening fluttering sensations in her chest, and bizarre painful muscle cramps that she described as feeling like insects crawling under her skin. Her electrocardiogram, ECG, results were noted as borderline, but not alarming enough for her primary care physician to prescribe any specific medication. During a detailed nutrition audit at our clinic, we made a startling and illuminating discovery. Nearly every single packaged product she had newly incorporated into her healthy diet listed cottonseed oil as one of the top 3 ingredients. We immediately created a clear and simple plan to cut out all products containing this hidden oil, replacing her packaged snacks with whole foods like roasted chickpeas and fresh avocado slices, and her bottled dressings with simple homemade vinaigrettes using extra virgin olive oil. The transformation was both rapid and profound. Within 2 short weeks, her unsettling muscle spasms had completely stopped. By the end of the 3rd week, her heart palpitations had vanished entirely. She called our office, her voice brimming with a life and energy that had been absent for months, to say that she felt alive again for the first time in what feels like forever. The lesson is stark and clear. You must become a detective and always, always check. The label, sesame seeds. Sesame seeds, in their common pale-hued form, seem to be an omnipresent fixture in the modern culinary landscape. They are scattered like confetti atop hamburger buns. They are ground into the creamy, ubiquitous tahini paste that forms the very foundation of hummus. They are drizzled in oil form over countless Asian stir-fries and noodle dishes. And they are baked into trendy, expensive superseed crackers that promise a host of health benefits. They are widely celebrated for their distinct nutty flavor and a nutritional profile that is supposed to be rich in calcium and healthy fats. However, for a significant and growing number of people over the age of 60, these incredibly popular seeds harbor a duo of hidden risks. They contain compounds that can trigger unexpected and often misdiagnosed allergic or sensitivity responses, placing an unnecessary burden on an already stressed immune system, and they are also rich in substances that can lead to critical mineral deficiencies, a problem of particular concern for seniors. These risks are significantly magnified in aging digestive systems, which are often characterized by lower stomach acid, reduced enzyme production, and a greater propensity for becoming sensitive and slower to detoxify potential inflammatory triggers. It is a classic case of a food that might be perfectly benign for a 30-year-old being a potential problem for a 70-year-old. One of the primary and most well-documented issues with the heavy consumption of sesame seeds lies in their very high concentration of phytates, also known as phytic acid. Phytates are often referred to by nutrition scientists as anti-nutrients. These are naturally occurring compounds found in the outer hull of many seeds, grains, and legumes, and their biological purpose is to protect the seed until it is ready to germinate. They achieve this by binding strongly to essential minerals, effectively locking them up. When you consume foods high in phytates, these compounds bind to crucial minerals like calcium, magnesium, zinc, and iron in your digestive tract, forming insoluble complexes that your body cannot break down or absorb. In a young, robust gut with high levels of the enzyme phytase, this might be a minor manageable issue, but for seniors who are already at a much higher baseline risk for a host of nutrient deficiencies, phytates can act like brazen thieves in the digestive tract, stealing vital minerals before your body has a chance to utilize them. A pivotal 2020 study published in the prestigious American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that high phytate diets, such as those rich in unsoaked seeds and grains, decreased the absorption of dietary calcium in older adults by as much as 27%. This is a staggering figure when you consider that adequate calcium absorption is the cornerstone of preventing osteoporosis and the devastating bone fractures that can rob seniors of their independence. Similarly, by blocking zinc and magnesium, high phytate intake can contribute to a weakened immune system, poor sleep quality, and muscle weakness. Even more concerning, and far less understood by the general public, is the dramatic and recent rise in sesame allergies, particularly those that develop for the first time later in life. In 2023, following years of mounting evidence and advocacy, sesame was officially recognized by the US Food and Drug Administration, FDA, as the 9th major allergen, placing it in the same category as peanuts and shellfish. This decision was prompted by a surge in reported allergic reactions, a significant number of which occurred in people over the age of 50. In seniors, these reactions do not always manifest as the dramatic, life-threatening anaphylactic shock we typically associate with severe allergies. More often, they appear as a collection of mysterious, chronic, and seemingly unrelated issues. Persistent sinus congestion that is dismissed as just allergies, unexplained and stubborn skin rashes or eczema, constant post-nasal drip or sneezing, or a low-grade, nagging fatigue that is never successfully traced back to a specific food source. Linda, a 69-year-old retired nurse, came to us as a last resort. For 6 years, she had been suffering from severe, migrating joint pain, stubborn, itchy patches of dry skin on her elbows and knees, and constant, uncomfortable bloating. She had already, on her own, eliminated dairy, gluten, and red meat with absolutely no improvement, and was beginning to feel hopeless. When we ran a comprehensive food sensitivity panel, we discovered a powerful and unambiguous immune response to sesame, a trigger that had gone completely unnoticed by her and her doctors. It turned out that her healthy daily habit of eating a large serving of hummus, which is made primarily from ground sesame paste, was the very thing fueling her body-wide inflammatory cascade. We implemented a strict plan to remove all forms of sesame from her diet and focused on replacing those fats with anti-inflammatory sources like avocado and walnuts instead. Within just 2 weeks, her skin began to clear for the first time in years. Her gut calmed down, and the debilitating joint pain that had plagued her for more than half a decade was nearly gone. Chia seeds. And now, we arrive at what is arguably the most shocking and counterintuitive seed on our list of foods to approach with caution. The number one seed that you should treat with extreme care and respect after the age of 60 is, surprisingly to many, the chia seed. Yes, the very same tiny black or white seed that has been universally celebrated by health influencers, nutritionists, and doctors alike for the past decade as the ultimate superfood. It has been lauded for its high fiber content, its omega-3 fatty acids, and its ability to promote satiety. What these enthusiastic recommendations often fail to mention, or at least fail to emphasize with sufficient gravity, is that chia seeds, when consumed incorrectly, can be incredibly and even acutely dangerous for an older adult. The danger does not come from a chemical compound or an allergenic protein, but from their unique and powerful physical property. Chia seeds are like tiny, hyper-absorbent biological sponges. They possess the remarkable ability to soak up to 12 times their own weight in liquid, and in doing so, they expand and transform into a thick, dense, gelatinous mass. This property is what makes them useful for creating puddings and thickening smoothies, but it is also the source of their potential peril. In a young, healthy person with a strong, efficient digestive tract and powerful esophageal peristalsis, this expansion can be beneficial, aiding in hydration and promoting bowel regularity. However, in the context of a senior's physiology, the situation can be vastly different and far more hazardous. Many older adults experience a natural slowing of gut motility, a condition known as presbyesophagus, which weakens the muscular contractions of the esophagus, or suffer from common conditions like acid reflux, GERD, or hiatal hernias, all of which can involve some degree of narrowing or sensitivity in the esophageal tract. For these individuals, the rapid expansion of chia seeds can cause a severe and painful blockage. Medical journals and emergency room reports are filled with alarming case studies of older adults experiencing severe choking episodes, intractable constipation, and even complete esophageal impaction, a medical emergency where the gelled mass of chia seeds forms a solid plug in the esophagus, requiring emergency endoscopic intervention to remove it. This is not a theoretical risk, it is a documented reality. One particularly harrowing report published in the Annals of Emergency Medicine detailed the case of a 72-year-old man who developed a full, impassable esophageal obstruction just 1 hour after swallowing a single, dry tablespoon of chia seeds, followed by a glass of water. He was a health-conscious individual who had read online that this was a good way to clean out his system. Instead of a gentle cleanse, this simple act nearly cost him his life. Roberto, a 74-year-old retired truck driver with a long-standing history of acid reflux, had a similarly frightening, though less severe, scare. His well-meaning daughter had bought him a wellness pack of various superfood powders, one of which contained a significant amount of ground chia seeds. Unaware of the risks, he began adding a scoop to his dry morning cereal and into his smoothies each morning without allowing any time for pre-soaking. Within a single week, he developed intense cramping bloat, sharp, stabbing stomach pains, and a constipation so severe that he was unable to have a bowel movement for 5 consecutive days. By the time he came to our office, his abdomen was visibly distended and tender to the touch, and he was pale, exhausted, and in considerable distress. We immediately instructed him to stop all chia consumption and put him on a gentle, gut-soothing protocol to resolve the impaction. Chia seeds are not inherently evil. They do contain valuable fiber and plant-based omega-3s, but they are a tool that must be used with profound respect and knowledge of their properties. For anyone over the age of 60, and especially for those with any history of digestive issues, the rule must be absolute. Never ever consume chia seeds dry or in a powdered form that is mixed directly into solid or semi-solid food. They must always be fully soaked in a generous amount of liquid, such as water, milk, or almond milk, for at least 30 minutes, or until they have completely transformed into a uniform, soft gel before they are ingested. The 4 seeds to embrace for a healthier future. Now that you are armed with the critical knowledge of the potential hidden dangers lurking in some of our most common seeds, let's flip the script entirely. Because just as certain seeds can inadvertently cause harm by promoting inflammation and blocking nutrients, others can serve as powerful, potent allies in your personal health journey. These select seeds can help to reverse existing damage, build a more resilient and robust body, and actively promote a state of vitality and well-being. It is not about restriction and fear. It is about making intelligent, strategic substitutions that work with, not against, your body's needs as you age. The black sesame seeds. This first recommendation on our must-eat list may come as a genuine surprise, especially after our earlier stern warning regarding sesame seeds. But it is crucial to understand that we are not talking about the common, hulled, pale white sesame seeds that adorn hamburger buns, nor the tahini paste that forms the base of most commercially available hummus. We are talking about their far more potent, unhulled, unrefined, and nutritionally superior cousin, the humble black sesame seed. In the vast and nuanced world of nutrition, these 2 seeds, though related, are worlds apart in their effects on the aging body. Black sesame seeds are a veritable treasure trove of specific powerful compounds, including unique lignans like sesamin and sesamolin, and a host of other powerful antioxidants that have been shown in clinical studies to specifically help reduce the oxidative stress that damages aging brain cells and the delicate endothelial lining of blood vessels. Unlike the pale variety, which is often stripped of its most nutrient-rich outer shell during processing to create a milder flavor and softer texture, black sesame seeds retain their full, intact mineral content, including significantly higher levels of calcium and iron, and have been revered for centuries in traditional Chinese medicine and other Eastern healing traditions as a primary tool for promoting longevity, nourishing the kidneys, and darkening hair. A compelling 2021 study published in the prestigious Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry elegantly highlighted these specific benefits for older adults. The study, a randomized controlled trial, followed a group of adults aged 65 to 78 for 60 days. The group that consumed a daily dose of just 2 teaspoons of ground black sesame seeds showed remarkable and statistically significant improvements in both cognitive performance and blood pressure control compared to the placebo group. On average, the participants in the black sesame group saw a notable 13-point drop in their systolic blood pressure and scored an impressive 22%, higher on standardized memory recall and executive function tests. This demonstrates a direct, measurable impact on 2 of the most critical aspects of healthy aging. We recommended this simple intervention to Siam, a 70-year-old retired math teacher who had come to us feeling increasingly forgetful, mentally foggy, and low on physical energy. Rather than immediately starting him on medication for his borderline high blood pressure, we introduced a simple daily ritual: 1 teaspoon of freshly ground black sesame seeds mixed with a small amount of honey in a cup of warm water, consumed each morning. Within a month, he reported that the mental fog had lifted and his focus had sharpened considerably. The numbers, he said with a smile, were lining up in his mind again like they used to. More impressively, his blood pressure, which had been hovering around 142/88, dropped to a healthy and stable 128/80. The key to unlocking these benefits is threefold. It must be the black, not white, variety. It must be the unhulled type to retain the full spectrum of nutrients, and it should always be consumed either ground or well soaked to break down the outer shell and make its powerful nutrients fully bioavailable. Flax seeds. Flax seeds are the quiet, unassuming champions of the senior pantry. They do not possess the flashy marketing campaigns or the trendy superfood status of other, more exotic seeds. But what they accomplish quietly and efficiently inside the body is nothing short of extraordinary for the aging population. These tiny teardrop-shaped brown seeds are packed with an exceptionally high level of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a vital plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that serves as a direct and potent antagonist to the pro-inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids we discussed earlier. By incorporating flax into the diet, you can actively shift your body's internal fatty acid balance away from inflammation and towards a state of resolution and repair. More importantly, and what truly sets them apart, is that flax seeds are the single richest dietary source on the planet of a class of beneficial plant compounds called lignans. These specific lignans, primarily secoisolarisyrosinol diglucoside, SDG, are metabolized by our gut bacteria into enterolactone and enterodiol, compounds that act as gentle hormone balancers, which can be particularly beneficial for postmenopausal women. They also have a proven track record of improving digestive function and offering powerful, multifaceted protection for the cardiovascular system. A landmark study published in 2018 in the journal Hypertension Research provided powerful evidence for the efficacy of flax seeds. The study followed 110 older adults who all had borderline high blood pressure. Half of the participants were given a daily muffin containing 30 grams of ground flaxseed, while the other half received a placebo muffin with no flax. After a period of 6 months, the results were striking. The group consuming the flaxseed muffins experienced an average reduction of 15 points in their systolic blood pressure and 7 points in their diastolic blood pressure. To put that in perspective, that level of improvement is on par with or even superior to, the effects of many first-line pharmaceutical blood pressure medications, but it comes without the common side effects of dizziness, fatigue, or electrolyte imbalances. We witnessed this remarkable effect with Youssef, a 68-year-old retired taxi driver who was struggling with a challenging combination of both high cholesterol and chronic, uncomfortable constipation. We had him begin a very simple regimen, starting with just 1 teaspoon of freshly ground flaxseed added to his morning yogurt and gradually increasing the dose to 2 heaping teaspoons over the course of a week. By the end of the 3rd week, he joyfully reported to our office that he was having daily, effortless bowel movements for the first time in over 2 decades. But the benefits didn't stop there. Over the course of 3 months, a follow-up blood panel showed that his total cholesterol had dropped from a concerning 2118 to a healthy 174, primarily due to a significant reduction in his LDL, bad cholesterol. The absolute key to unlocking the immense power of flax is to grind it. Whole flax seeds have a tough outer hull that the human digestive system cannot break down, meaning they will simply pass through your system undigested, taking all their valuable nutrients with them. It is best to grind small batches at home in a coffee grinder and store the ground meal in the refrigerator or freezer to protect its delicate and precious oils from oxidation. Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds, often referred to by their Spanish name, pepitas, are one of the most profoundly nutrient-dense foods available on the planet. Yet they are almost completely overlooked and underutilized in most senior diets, often being discarded after carving a Halloween pumpkin. These small, flat green kernels are absolutely loaded with 2 specific minerals that are not just beneficial, but absolutely critical for the process of aging well: zinc and magnesium. Zinc can be thought of as the body's master repairman and chief of security. It plays a vital and indispensable role in hundreds of enzymatic reactions, including robust immune function, particularly the development and function of T cells, the frontline soldiers of your immune system. It is also essential for proper wound healing and for the synthesis of new muscle tissue, a process that is crucial for combating age-related muscle loss or sarcopenia. It is a well-established fact in geriatric medicine that seniors are often clinically or subclinically deficient in zinc, a deficiency that can manifest as slow healing cuts and bruises, frequent colds and infections, a diminished sense of taste and smell, and a gradual creeping muscle weakness that is all too often tragically dismissed as an inevitable and irreversible part of getting older.